Man, you guys already know who it is. iOS 13 came out. You guys already know. I mean, if you follow the channel, I've done like a billion videos on it already. But it's about to be 1,000,000,001 because as everyone else is kind of hyping it up and being cool, even myself, I'm one of those people. I think iOS 13 is going to be one of the craziest versions of iOS ever. And it's really going to sway the jailbreak community in my opinion because I feel like a lot of people who jailbreak really only want the features that this thing already brings. But here's the thing. I've had a couple of annoyances with iOS 13 and they're really major problems. I don't know how to fix it really, but I want to talk about some of them in this video. I don't hate iOS 13, I think it's cool, but I hate some key aspects of iOS 13 and what it pretty much is bringing to the table in a way. And the first thing I want to hit on is actually the lack of a beta profile that you can get over the air updates with. So usually how I would update my phone over a beta is that I would download a beta profile and then you obviously go to profiles and device management. But it seems like in this case, I can't even find profiles and device management. Maybe I'm just being blind, I don't really know. I'll have to do a little bit more digging, but as far as I know, I can't even find that specific thing that we used to be able to approve a profile from our phone with. So I don't know what's going on there. Maybe they moved it, so that's really weird. So that's one thing right there too. I didn't even realize that. That's a huge major thing. If we're going to install the Tutu app and things like that, that's going to be a pretty big problem. Hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully I'm just seeing something wrong, but I don't know. But usually I would go update my profile and go to software update, and I would be able to update to the beta from here. But now it looks like we need a computer every single time. And I already have a developer account, so that's okay. But for those of the people who don't, they have to wait for the public beta, and that's kind of annoying. That profiles and device management thing that was really messing with me. I don't know what happened to that. Another thing is actually it's not right now happening, but in the future, the removal of Force Touch. And we're already seeing that with iOS 13. They're kind of hinting at it. And I'll tell you right now, that's not an iOS 13 specific problem, but hopefully Apple does not go and remove Force Touch on our devices. I think haptic feedback is okay for the older devices like the SE, the iPods, the iPads, but for Apple to go and totally remove it from future devices, it doesn't really differentiate an iPhone from an Android or any other device. Apple should go and embrace Force Touch. I know other people, whatever, didn't use it or whatever, but they need to start marketing it as such because I'm sure it's not a cheap thing to put into a phone, but I'd really prefer it. And right now with iOS 13, Force Touch is a little bit slow, so with iOS 12 is a lot faster. But I'm not going to hate on it too much because with newer versions of iOS 13, it'll get smoother and faster and faster. But hopefully Apple does not remove it with the future iPhones. Now this next thing is not even with that iPhone, it's with the iPhone 7. For some reason, I've right now tried to update this phone twice to iOS 13, and every single time I do it, I keep getting into a boot loop issue. So I'll try to restart it, see if it does anything. Okay, so watch, it won't go through. This is the second time. The first time I did it, I was able to restore it, and this time again, and I went ahead and installed iOS 13, and it went and kept boot looping again. So here we go. We're going through the boot loop yet again. I'll drop a tutorial on how to fix your iPhone if this is happening, if you update your phone, so keep it locked down. But that's still a huge major problem. I'm not sure what's going on. For me, it's not like the crazy end of the world because I don't use this phone. I don't have anything personal on it. I can easily go buy another iPhone 7 and be okay with it. But for those of you who own an iPhone 7, I'm going to make another video talking about the issues with it. So I'd probably recommend if you own an iPhone 7, do not update. Or really if you have any iPhone, do not update to a beta profile because this can happen to your iPhone and you will lose everything on your phone. So that's kind of a quick little update right there. But that's kind of annoying. That shouldn't be happening. And it's not because like I downloaded from an illegal website or whatever. I downloaded everything from the Apple website. I used the same wire that I use for all my other iPhones and all my other iPhones updated fine. So that's a huge problem right there. That happened to me on iOS 11 and hasn't happened since. I almost dropped it. Now this next thing is actually within battery. So it's not really the battery itself, but it's actually kind of weird. So Apple is actually doing this feature now that it's going to learn how you charge your iPhone. And if you're charging it like overnight, for example, it's only going to allow you to charge up to 80%. And then from there, it's going to slowly charge your iPhone until, let's say you wake up at like 6 a.m. every morning and you plug it in at 10 p.m. It'll charge from like 0 to 80% normally. But once it hits that 80%, it'll slowly charge up to 100% once you hit 6 a.m. So if it notices that you wake up at 6 a.m. every night, be at 100% when you wake up. And for a lot of people, that's like, okay, it doesn't matter as long as it's 100%, whatever. But let's say you're at someone's house and you're already at like 75% and it's 10 p.m. and you're chilling around with people and you go to plug in your phone and it thinks you're sleeping, but you're not because you're just charging it temporarily. And you plug in your phone, it's 80% and you charge it for an hour and you come back and it's at like 85% or something. And you're like, dude, it's like 11 p.m. I'm hanging out with friends. I'm not sleeping right now, but your iPhone doesn't know. So I think in my opinion, that's a really weird thing. I think it's cool in theory, but as an everyday thing, I just think it's kind of a weird thing because there's going to be so many times, I don't sleep at the same time and I don't wake up at the same time every single day. So that's kind of an issue right there with iOS 13 as well. And the last thing I want to hit on is also similar to the the user profile thing, but Apple's making developers use their sign into Apple thing for developing accounts. I think it's cool for us. I mean, I'm not a developer, even though I kind of am. I'm not making apps or anything, so for me, it's like fine, I don't care. But for developers, it's not really giving them a lot of leeway for their things, so maybe it's kind of a disadvantage in a way. That's kind of even pushing it. That's kind of even petty, but that's kind of one thing. That is pretty much it. If you guys have any other questions or anything, leave it down in the comment section below. Hit that like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. Every single subscriber that we get really does count, so it means so much if you guys could hit that. Also, check out the other links down in the description as well. My Twitter, my Instagram, my second channel, all those links are linked down below. I would really appreciate if you guys could check it out. But more importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out, everyone.